I'm going to stand up for these two teams, and that's going to be Georgia and Oklahoma. I don't want to focus on the other teams right now about their resumes, but if you want to put teams on the field right now at the end of the season that you don't want to play, I don't know about you guys, but Georgia right now with JT Daniels and Oklahoma, we can expand the playoff as far as you want. 8 would be great, 12 would be great. So Kirk Herbstreit, that's a quote from Kirk Herbstreit talking about Georgia and Oklahoma, two of the teams playing better football than almost anyone probably outside of Clemson and Alabama right now. I thought Clemson looked as good as they did all year on Saturday afternoon. And then Alabama obviously has looked better, but they've looked good the whole season. Dean Legge from Dog Post. Making you a smarter Georgia fan, what did you think about what Kirk had to say there about how hot Georgia is? And we're going to talk later in the week, and this is something we've kicked around a lot on dogpost.com in the forums, is what would an expanded playoff look like? Well, this year it doesn't exist, and you do have two teams in Georgia and Oklahoma who are playing well coming into the end of the season. Of course, they both have 2 losses, and they're not facing one another. So they both get the chance to play a 3-loss team for the Sooners in Florida and Georgia playing undefeated Cincinnati. And if you weren't playing those teams, the Pac-12 champion Oregon has only played something like 5 or 6 games. So Georgia is hot right now. And the question is, are they going to take that heat into 2021? I think that's something that we're going to be watching for over on dogpost.com. I mean, how many of the players who are not opting back are going to come back? We have a premium story on Dog Post talking about that sort of stuff, as well as another few things in there too. But I think that when you start thinking about how hot this team is right now, I mean, how many guys are going to leave? And even if they do, what happens with the team that comes back? I mean, you're starting the year off with a Clemson team that's been in the top 5 for the last 5 years, but that will look very different in 2021 offensively than it does right now, going into the 2020 playoffs. So what does it matter that this team is hot? Well, if you can close the season out the right way against Cincinnati, that would certainly mean you're ranked in the top 10. I think top 5 is probably out of the question, considering Georgia's so far back in the rankings, and the teams that are in front of them, only one of them is going to lose with Oklahoma and Florida. And then I don't know how much Notre Dame would get penalized for getting blown out by Alabama, but that's certainly a team that could fall. And then, for the Dogs, when you sit there and you look at the offensive line, everyone probably but Ben Cleveland coming back. Justin Schaefer, has played a fair amount, but has not been a full-time starter the entire time. Jamari, Trey Hill will be coming back. Erickson, you got freshman All-SEC Warren McClendon coming back. So this is a Georgia offense. If you return JT Daniels, if you return Zamir, I mean, I don't know about James Cook. You want to throw him in there too? All of the receivers are coming back, and it's just a matter of how good can this team be. This has been an elusive thing for the program. National championships don't just grow on trees. And that's why I think when you look at 2021, this next few weeks is about as critical a time as any. Because the recruiting job that Kirby Smart has to do is making sure the guys that would be 4th and 5th round guys this year come back and become 1st and 2nd round guys next year. And you really do have that opportunity with JT Daniels, Jordan Davis, and possibly even Zamir. I mean, I could see Zamir would be a top 100 draft pick next year. I don't know that he would be this year. I don't know that a lot changes other than another year of data. So it is a tricky situation for a lot of these guys. Zamir, James Cook, they both are NFL players. The question is, how do you maximize your opportunity in the NFL? That will probably coincide with if they come back to Georgia or not. So you look at what Nick Chubb's done, and that players play in the NFL. They're just, if you can play, you're going to play, but you're not going to develop. That's been something Kirby's talked about for a long time. So this last few weeks, I mean, I think Kirk is right. You don't want to play Georgia. I don't know how many people will be signing up to play Cincinnati either, though. I want to be clear about my view of Cincinnati for everyone. I've been on the record about this for some time. This is a good Cincinnati team. Georgia's not playing Hawaii in the 2008 Sugar Bowl. This is a good Cincinnati team that's undefeated. Did not really have a case for making the playoffs, but they deserve, for sure, to be in a New Year's Six game. This is going to be a challenging game for Georgia, a game they should win. But this is a challenging Cincinnati team. Their defense is very good. The quarterback is particularly good. So this is not just a roll the ball out there and win kind of game. These guys are better than Missouri. They're better than almost everyone Georgia's played this season outside of Florida and Alabama. With that said, they're probably slightly better than what Auburn showed up in Athens with. So this is going to be a challenging game for Georgia. They're not just going to be able to push Cincinnati around, I don't think. But they should win the game. If they're as hot as Kirk Herbstreit's talking about, and they are, they're playing better than Cincinnati right now. So that's another thing to keep in mind too. All right, well, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We're going to be seeing you more here on YouTube as well as Facebook and on the site. But you see the screen. Make sure you're watching all of these videos. Brock Vandagriff up there is going for a state championship in a few days. You can get all your Brock Vandagriff views right there. Check him out. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Dane Legge from Dog Post. Thank you, a Smarter Georgia fan.